I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Welcome back in person, everybody. Good to see you all. The borough's complied with the notice provisions of the Sunshine Law by adopting prior to January 10th this year a resolution prescribing the dates, times, and locations of all regular meetings of the commission. This meeting is one of the meetings listed in such resolution. Copies of the resolution were prior to January 10th filed with the borough clerk. The borough has also complied with the notice provisions. We don't need that. We're live. Yeah. We are live streaming it as well. In case folks aren't meeting, welcome everybody. Good to see you all. Tom?
I need a motion to file the minutes from January 10, 2022.
Make motion.
Second.
And a motion to file the following reports: tax collector, municipal court, and zoning commission.
Second.
Okay, so it's great to see everybody out tonight. We're a couple, actually just one person we want to recognize. I do want to mention before I forget that Chief Carey will, actually both of our chiefs will be around for meetings for a little while now. One for just a couple months while Chief Carey is at the FBI National Academy for Police Chiefs. He's going to be leaving and heading to that before our next meeting, or actually probably the day of our next meeting. And then our other chief is going to leave for a few more meetings than that, kind of for the rest of the meetings, for the rest of the borough's existence. But we want to take this opportunity to recognize Keith Davis. Keith, you want to come on up? So we're just talking downstairs. Keith was sworn in on St. Patrick's Day, 1997. By me. Not that I remember that, but yes. But Keith has been not just a great chief. He's, I'll tell you the biggest thing for me of Keith Davis' tenure is he kind of has advanced us into a period where the professionalism within the fire department is a whole different level. I joke with former Mayor Mike Brennan, on things like Sandy, on big incidents that would be coming up as we were getting word that a bad storm was coming or something was going to be happening. I would get a plan. I would get like a written plan. It would be like a plan. He'd send it in and say, we've gone over this. We think this has happened. We think this might happen. Here's contingencies. For Hurricane Sandy, we had a meeting and we all sat down and went over what would happen when, how we would do all that. Never got one of those before. And was kind of, the role of firefighting, even in a small town like this, which it has become more serious in terms of the extent of things that can happen, the life and death situations, the exposures that they deal with, all of those other things that have happened. It's been with the highest level professionals. And that's what he has brought, while at the same time keeping a good sense of humor, being kind with everyone, trying to make all the folks here at the borough feel respected. He's really just done a great job. It's been a great pleasure to work with him. He's kind of left the job about 3-4 months ago, as far as I can tell. I'm not sure about that, but I might be wrong. It could be 5 or 6, but I think it's been certainly the last 3 or 4. His last run, he'll always remember his last couple of years because of building the public safety building. It kind of evolved into being a little bit more involved for the department heads than I think any of us really expected it would be at the beginning. And we probably should have thought it would have been that way, because if you're building your house, you can have architect plans, but you're probably going to be there every day telling them you want the doorknob over here and you want the lights there, and why is that there? This is what I know, and that's what he really did a great job for us. Great delivery. And as soon as the paint dried on the wall, he's skipping. But I just want to thank him so much for all his work. Tricia, all of you for all the for lending him to us for all this time. it's been a great pleasure to work with you. Wish you the best. Rob?
Yeah, well, Keith, I have to say that I've never been a fireman on land, but when you're in the Navy at sea, everyone's a firefighter. And one of the things I learned during that time is that preparation and attention to detail were the most important things. That ultimately, when something bad was happening, things were prepared for anything. And when I think of you, I think of those two things. Think about preparation and attention. Never seen you on a hose before, but I feel really confident to say you're fighting this fire. And I want to thank you because what you've done is public service. And yeah, there's a salary attached to it and stuff like that, but there's also a lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings, and you do it all with professionalism and the energy required. So,
Morgan?
I have only been here a short while, working with you, but you made me feel so very welcome. And you're just such a warm person. It was a pleasure to have that brief time together. I wish you the best.
you got there.
So there's going to be I understand, a celebration for Keith along with the party that day. Fittingly, it'll be April Fool's Day, right? That actually worked that way, right? That was
Not late.
a lot of work to make it happen. Yeah. So we have a proclamation for you, but I'll tell you, Keith, I'm going to save you. I'm just going to rush over it. It's got a million words, and it'll take a little bit. But let me just hit a few things that he's been 10 years as chief. That's hard to believe that it's been 10 years. He's been 10 years here as our chief. Received multiple of recognitions and Valor Awards for rescue storing fires, oversaw the growth of our fire department over his career, upgrades in technology, again, that professionalism I talked about. Kept his composure while driving the fire engine out of our antiquated station with one of the doors open, resulting in it being completely sheared off. That's one of the other ones.
Just a telephone.
Is that what it was? A telephone call? Okay. Well, no, that's not the story yet. It's here. Also managed with persistence to consume a lunch of peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a small container of nuts every single workday. If I had known that during the interview process, we would have asked a few more questions. But Keith, I want to congratulate you. We want to thank you. We hope you have a long, prosperous life, and as most of our fire chiefs do when they leave. But we hope that things go really well, and wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Hal. No, there you go. So Hal, let's you haven't just one of those,
Yes.
right? Yeah, okay, all right, that's all, I'm sorry, that's all.
Okay.
Just making sure I wasn't. Okay, so we're swearing in an officer, Sam Rocco. So somber. Someone call it Joe.
He's not.
Yeah. Soon enough, man. You watch. Soon enough. Come on up. Here's. You hold the Bible. There. No, you stay right there. Slide right in the middle. I state your name.
I say,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, justly perform all the duties as police sergeant for the borough of Collingswood, according to the best of my ability. So, congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, you are all welcome to stay, but my guess is none of you will. You are all free to head out, okay, whatever you like. Just try to keep it down while we get through the rest of the business, okay? Thank you all. Okay, Holly.
Okay, we have the second reading. of
Wait,
public-
you can't. No, go ahead.
We have the second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1732 for general order capital improvements.
So this is a public hearing on these ordinances. This is equipment for the water department and for the public works department, I'm sorry, for infrastructure improvements. Anyone wishing to bring anything before the commission, this is your opportunity to do so. Okay, Holly?
Mayor Maley?
Yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Robbins? Okay, we have the second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1733. All train vehicles, dirt bikes, and motors.
So this is being adopted pursuant to a new state law that was adopted right after the first of the year. That tries to address this new fad of dirt bikes driving in big groups in urban areas, not exactly dirt bike areas. We've been having great problems with it on the west side, whipping off of 130, cut up a lot of the small streets. And there are so many of them, even if there's someone out trying to blockade them, they go up on lawns, they go all over the place. So this gives us the ability to actually, for vehicles that are stopped, to actually confiscate dirt bikes, among other things. But that's the big teeth in it right now. So this is the second reading of the public hearing. Anyone like to bring anything before the commission? This is your opportunity to do so. Any comments, anybody? Hey, Art, okay,
Mayor Maley?
yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Robbins?
Yes.
Ordinance, second reading of ordinance 1734, establishing a parking ticket policy for the Parkview apartment parking lots.
So part of the security improvements going on at Parkview, there are provisions, have been forever in state law, where private property owners, usually you see this in shopping centers, but private property owners can give consent to the local municipality to have their parking laws enforced on that private property. Okay, so that's what this is doing. This is taking the step. We've got the consent of the Parkview so that basically our police will be able to write parking tickets, other offenses for parking violations that take place on the Parkview parking lot itself. Okay, so people park in emergency areas, all that kind of stuff. It lets us write tickets. So that's what this ordinance is. Anyone like to be heard on this at all? Okay,
Mayor Maley?
yes.
Mr. Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Robbins?
Yes.
And we have the first reading of ordinance 1735, appropriating $50,000 for the general capital improvement fund for the purchase of equipment for Robert's Pool, appropriating $125,000 for the water capital improvement fund for improvements to water infrastructure, and appropriating $125,000 for the parking capital improvement fund for the purchase of and to install parking meters.
Okay, so this is the first reading of this ordinance. This capital improvement ordinance, what it does is take money that is in our budgets and simply dedicates it for these specific uses. Okay, so it's not borrowing new money, it's just taking money that we already have in our budget and formally appropriating it to these dedicated purposes. Public reading will be at the April 4 meeting. Okay,
Mayor Mallon.
yes.
Commissioner Lewandowski.
Yes.
Commissioner Robinson.
Yes.
Public comment on the resolution.
All right, I'll just tell everyone, we have one addition on the resolutions. We're adding a resolution that's rescinding an award of a contract that we made to a company called DM Medical Billing and authorizing advertising for those services. This is the company that does our billing for a car accident, for the ambulance response, for any emergency services responses. Typically where there's insurance that we build that. So this is the company that does that billing. We had awarded the contract to them, but it actually seems like there's some real difficulties in the company. We're not sure if they're still in existence right now. So we're going to go back out for and advertise for these services again. So we're canceling out. We never signed a contract, canceling out the last award and going to go back out and see what proposals we can get. So with that addition, anyone, any comments, questions, anything on the agenda items? Okay, go ahead, Al.
Canceling stale checks from various accounts.
Yes.
Yes.
Authorizing the sub-examination of the 2022 municipal budget.
So this is a process under DCA, under the rules of the state, that basically if you have put together budgets in good form for a few years, they let you do what's called a self-examination, which means you don't have to go through the full review at the state. They kind of trust you to put everything together the right way. So this is allowing us to do that and skip that review by the state. Yes.
Yes.
Affirming the Borough of Collingswood civil rights policy and signing up the group affidavit.
This is all, is this state law requirements or this is all JIP requirements?
That's it. I think
Okay.
It's certainly JIP, but
Go ahead, Al.
budget.
Budget requirement. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Budget requirement.
Yes.
So yes.
Okay, on this one, I'm going to do a roll call vote. This is introducing and approving the 2022 municipal budget.
Okay. So let me just talk about that for a second. Okay. It is, so the budget, we're introducing our budget tonight. Adoption, the public hearing will be at our April 4 meeting. Right at what time? Okay. So the budget tonight is, well, it's larger than we would like it to be. On the average home, the increase is approximately $90 on the average assessed property, which is at $230,000. I'm going to just hit kind of real quickly, hit some of the bigger expenses that we've got. In addition to still some revenues that are not where they usually are, like parking revenues, some of those other ancillary revenues that help offset our operating costs. This year we have number one, top of the list is recycling and trash costs. Our costs for this year are roughly double what they have been in prior years. Included within those additional costs on collections and equipment and the leasing, it's also adding additional personnel in order to pick up all of the recycling. So that is the bulk of the reason for this increase. Some of the things that we're also getting with this are we're purchasing in the ordinance we introduced, we're taking part of the money, buying 6 additional parking kiosks that will be deployed pretty much in the area back by the parking areas back by the water tower. We've got, there's an EV, an electric public charging station that's going to be installed. We're doing improvements here in this building, improvements at Roberts Pool. At Roberts Pool, it's a mix of equipment for operating the pool, some chlorination machinery that we have to do. And it's also making improvements on the ladies' room, on the women's room at the pool. We've had a lot of issues with it there with the plumbing, and so we're going to be making some permanent improvements to try and fix that. So that's kind of a quick run through about what the budget is. Thanks to Betty Jo and Cassandra and all our department heads for the work putting this together. You guys have anything you want to offer? for a public hearing, we can talk about the public hearing.
Yeah, no, other than, just like what we're facing in our households, that things are not cheap, there are contractual obligations, and then there are the surprises along the way. Being good stewards with the public resources is important to us. When we spend money, we want to make sure that we're providing value, and I think we're doing it this way.
Okay. All right, roll call, right?
Yes. Mayor Mallon.
Yes.
Commissioner Luminowski.
Yes.
Commissioner Robinson.
Yes.
Approving lien certification pursuant to chapter 227 of the Borough Code, 130 East Linden Avenue.
This is for property maintenance stuff, and so we've done, cited for some kind of problem, property. When they don't fix it, we go out and fix it, put a lien against the property for our costs. Yes.
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 Authorizing an agreement with Global Parking Solutions for the parking kiosks.
This is buying parking kiosks.
Yes.
Authorizing a shared service agreement between the Borough of Collington and the Borough of Oak Lynn for construction code official, building inspector, electrical, plumbing, and fire sub-code officials.
Self-explanatory, yes.
Approving raffle license 2022-1 to Collingswood Rotary.
Yes.
Yes.
Authorizing appointments to the Collingswood Planning Board.
Yes.
Authorizing appointments to the Collingswood Green Team.
Yes.
Authorizing the acquisition of the property located at 712 Woodland Avenue, identified as block 128, lot 1.
Yes.
Yes.
Authorizing application for the Camden County Ground 22 Recreation Facility Enhancement Grant application.
Yes.
Yes.
Approving the adoption of cybersecurity incident response plan,
And let's do the next one too.
and approving the adoption of a master technology practices policy.
These are both requirements of our insurance, the borough's insurance, some additional coverage that's being offered for our cybersecurity protection. This is, we have to adopt certain plans and follow certain policies to keep that coverage in place. Yes.
Yes.
Rescinding resolution 2022-15, awarding a contract for EMS services and authorizing to advertise for bids.
Yes.
Authorized to advertise for bid for a material supply for the chlorine contact pipe,
Yes.
Yes.
and for the payment of bills as presented by the treasurer.
Yes.
Yes. Commissioner Robinson?
Yeah. I'm thinking about how we all get to go out in the world. It's getting warmer and the mask requirements are reduced and we're feeling safer. Things are being attended in great numbers. And I think about all the people who have moved here in the last 2 years who already know how great it is to live here, but haven't gotten the hands-on the opportunities to really dig in and feel what it feels like to live here. So we have a lot of volunteer opportunities. We're planning Mayfair in full swing. Some people have never even lived here for Mayfair. We would love new volunteers. It's a couple hours of the day. You go to Collingswood website and get volunteer information. We also have park cleanup. We do Saturdays at Night Park. We're going to go into different areas, not just Night Park. There's some problem areas in town and we get to pick up trash and beautify. We're also looking at pollinator gardens and a monarch project. So there are opportunities to plant gardens, consider your own property, setting aside a small bit of your own yard for a pollinator garden, and we'll help you figure out how. If it's not your area of expertise, we're going to make plans and reach out and pledge a plot of your land for the pollinators.
Sounds like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Mr. Ludowski?
Just to echo something that Morgan said is that, I've always said that the secret sauce of Collingswood isn't our resources. We can't spend our way to everything that we do here, but it's the resourcefulness. And that doesn't just happen for government. As a matter of fact, it shouldn't just happen for government. It's a sort of partnership with our community. So many good things that happen here, really happen because people have ideas and willingness to get behind it. And thankfully, before I was here, government was willing to put, resources to make good things happen. So you started by talking about as it's getting warmer and stuff, and as the forsythia and the crocus all begin to bloom, so do potholes. So she gets to talk about poetry, and I get to talk about asphalt and stuff. Look, sort of almost a sad rite of passage at this time of year, but when you have essentially water and fissures in the road and then expanding and contracting of that water, and cars and trucks, that's how you get potholes. So this is the time of year, and you can help us. When you see something along your roads, please call Public Works or go onto our website, collinswood.com, and let us know about it. Public Works is out there and certainly tries to keep on top of this stuff, but you can be a big help with it. Tis the season. So that's all I got.
So poetry, asphalt, I get lead pipes. So I just want to re-emphasize, everyone got something at the house, and there's been some news on it, but the under state law, which is a good law, is there's a requirement that we replace lead pipes, lead water pipes going into people's houses, certain galvanized pipes. And it's going to be a process, it's going to take a little bit of time, it's going to take a few years. But what will help it immeasurably is if you follow, right now the borough's website is probably your best spot to go to. Follow the instructions there, get us a picture, and help us identify if you are one of the properties that there needs to be service replacement. Okay, so I can't emphasize it enough. You've got to try and do that for us so that we can get an inventory done quickly. We've got some financing lined up through the state in order to get this done. We want to get it done as quickly as we can. Help us know that your service is one that we have to replace. Okay. All right. I'll open it to the floor. Anybody bring anything before the commission? Anything at all? Let me know. Sure. We'll just give your name and address, please.
Ben Shakes, Preston Paris.
Hey, our condolences for your loss. Okay. Yeah.
I had a question about the budget approval. I have full budget available for.
The full budget will be on the website tomorrow. Yeah, I think it'll be up on the budget, up on the website tomorrow.
And then on April 4th is
Public hearing. Public hearing.
Okay.
Yeah. Fingers crossed we'll be here.
What did you say?
Fingers crossed we'll be here for that.
You should be though.
Yeah, I've said that before. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Anyone else, sir? Yes, sir. Just give us your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, Bill Fisher, 620 Colbert. Two questions, actually. I wonder if anybody could give us an update on what's happening with Newton Lake and the work there. It seems like it's taking longer than it was supposed to. I assume it's COVID, but just curious if you could give us an update on that.
I don't, not so much. It's a county project, and I really haven't gotten much of an update for a little bit. You got anything from Maggie or anybody? No, I haven't gotten any update. We can, if you can email me or leave us an email address, we'll loop you in with the folks at the county. They've been really pretty good and pretty responsive on what's going on. We can get you direct to the guys that are running the project.
Okay, and then the other question is, in the retrospective, I'm thinking several issues. You talked about the gold standard of trash and recycling, and I
Still
totally get
is.
it. Yeah, well,
It ain't
okay.
perfect, but it still is.
Paying a hell of a lot more for less, and I understand that. But I'm just curious with yard waste, are we ever going to get back to being able to put yard waste out there again? Or is it just trying to get
You've
used to
never
it?
been able to just put it out all year. There's always been rules, okay? Always, always, always. Who wants to go over rules? Stephen? Go ahead, Stephen.
So this year's still gonna be somewhat of a trial, because last year was the first year doing yard waste, and we'll snap back to doing 9 o'clock at night where we could. So right now, if we're writing something up for the town prior, we're gonna look at doing the entire town on Wednesday and Thursday. We're trying to get it done in 2 days. What days they will be is gonna be the trial. So for right now, we're asking people to put it out Wednesday, so we pick up Wednesday or we pick up Thursday, as we sort of delineate the line of demarcation between where we're gonna stop on Wednesday and start on Thursday. So this is still kind of unfolding. We certainly should be able to get it all in 2 days. But more to come.
Roughly when are you thinking? And again, I'm just asking.
Yeah,
sure,
Just
question.
Just asking.
It used to be May to October. I think
Okay.
May's a little late. I think we realized a lot of the spoiled the sound service. I think they started taking January. So we're looking at April 4th, which is our usual spring cleanup. We're gonna try that. People are already calling though right now for Norway, so we're in the future, but right now it's April 4th until October.
Thank you.
And for you, and then really for anyone else that's out there, is, right, so the yard waste generally happens when lawns begin to get cut, right? And that sort of will go through, and then we sort of hit leaf season, right? And we sort of shift into, you know, a lot of our public works people getting on trucks and rakes and the like. And then brush is also, you know, collected, and then after sort of like December 1st roughly, then it becomes a request to pick up brush. So it's always done, but it's not always on a regular schedule of collecting, so.
So then, okay, I'm a recent immigrant, whatever it is, from, I moved here from Haddonfield.
Okay.
I'm certainly not gonna compare
Congratulations.
Collingswood to Haddonfield, but one thing that we did have in Haddonfield was they had a compost pile where residents could go and rather than having to buy chemicals to put on our gardens, we could go to the compost. Is there such a thing in Collingswood?
So
Just
we,
out of
we've done
curiosity.
that in the past. I couldn't do that this year because we have a lot of stuff. We built up a lot of brush in our compost facility right now, brush, chips, and leaves over the past couple of years, shut down and everything. So I couldn't do that again this year, but we have done that in the past and we could do it again. So,
Yeah, we've been working to get back to it, and then it's kind of thrown a little out of kilter, but yes, we did. Yeah, we did. Thank you. And someday, when it's all back to the normal routine, we'll be getting back to that again. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm Dan Smith, I'm at 225 Lincoln. I just wanted to advocate for the expansion of the summer playground camps team. It's an indispensable program. It's form bonds across all the various different elementary schools. They meet local role models once the camp counselors there. The staff there is just fantastic. The only problem is just that the space is always limited, even before the pandemic. If you didn't get there right when signs were available, there's not a lot. It's uncontroversial that it's, you know, been forced to bear a lot of this sacrifice, and we should, you know, as a community, make it our priority to make up for that. I'm asking the commission to be creative and ambitious in finding solutions to that problem. Please engage with the community to find those solutions. The demand is there, the long lines are there to get their sign up for the program. The spirit of volunteerism is there as well, if that's necessary. You know that, you know, familiar with the volunteer coaches and sports leagues. They're familiar with the responses to the parent volunteers and school staffing shortages. I just think that there's a solution to this problem that we can all have access to this really great resource that we've provided, you know, for the 8 years that.
Yeah. So you email me? Okay, all right. So did we get back to you?
I was only a couple days ago, so I wasn't expecting an immediate response.
Well, no. I flipped it out, and actually we talked with Cassandra and with Jake Goodman, who runs all our rec programs. The issue, I think I did respond to you saying like,
Great.
the issue traditionally is we can't get the space and we can't get people to run it. The space is usually an issue because we usually use the schools, and in the summertime, that's when they get all the work done in our schools, you know, to paint and, you know, do everything that they want to do in school. So it's always like tough getting the space and getting staff for it. So Jake was, the last was he was gonna go hunt and see what he could pull together,
I
right?
had looked at it next year, but not full, came pretty close to looking at what the issues were. We just kind of circled around it again. What would it take to make this happen? So we did have a pretty.
Yeah, so we're trying.
Jump start.
We're trying. We're taking a shot to see if we can do it again. Listen, 100 years ago, my kids all went to that playground. Like Jen, I believe was like that. Ran like
Still
that,
does.
right? Still does? Really?
Yeah.
She was a teenager when she ran. But we're trying to find space. It's a function of where we can do it and can we throw staff on that we feel comfortable will watch these kids for, you know.
I know it's always been time, but it doesn't necessarily have to take them every week, you know, rotate them. to school.
No, it's there for a reason. It's there because like that's where they can get the
St.
space.
North has
It's done.
extended school year, so they're actually, there's classes going on there at one of the other schools as well. But your point is well taken. Yeah, if we can.
All
find a
for
way,
it,
let's-
try to run
let's-
away,
let's do
yeah,
it.
no, absolutely, that's an easy one. Just hard to do. It's a big agreement. Anything else, folks, anybody? Anyone? Okay, cheers to Keith Davis, congratulations, you're officially done, next meeting you come to, let's see if that happens.
I will be at next week.
You don't have to wear a tie for the next one, huh?
I'm gonna wear regular clothes.
There you go. Okay, all right. Cheers, Davis. Thank you all. Good night. We're adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.